types of dirty, um, do you dirty in many forms. And then they want you to always, forgive them, take them back, always accept their apology, making it seem like you're being too sensitive. It's not that serious. Oh, I was just joking, blah, 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 whatever. And when it comes down to when the roles, switch, when you fall short a little bit, it could be something very small. They don't want to show you empathy. They feel like, oh, they're gonna try to, constantly keep on keeping account of the injury. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because now they make it seem like, oh, when I do something to hurt you, you're supposed to just forgive me and accept me back with welcome arms. But if you do it, oh no, I don't know about that. You see how people act. And so for me, it's just like when you see somebody playing in your face, you gotta like know, just to cut that person off. Stop trying to, and it's not that I'm saying to hold a grudge against the person or be bitter and things like that, because everybody on this earth has been betrayed in some way or form. Everybody has, right? But the point I'm making is that it's different to say, okay, you know what? I accept the apology, meaning that I'm going to move on, move forward, and leave the matter in, Jehovah God hands, and then, just keep on going, not allowing myself, to become, bitter or whatever the situation pretty much may be. um Most people, they don't do that. They want to go out there and cause problems for somebody else because they haven't healed themselves, or they're not trying to heal, or they don't care about none of that, so they want to just make problems hard for, like I said, somebody else. But if you know deep down that you really meant well, but you probably made a little mistake, or it could be anything small, but every time you want them to hear you out, they ain't hearing you. You understand what I'm trying to say? They not hearing you. They just don't understand you. They don't get you. They just don't get it. But when it's them, they want you to just always feel sorry for them. They don't have no type of empathy for you at all. And that's how you know when somebody is not supposed to be in your life. Because somebody that's truly your friend, or somebody that's, whether it's family, it could be anybody. They gon', they not. I'm not saying to just always accept bad behavior, but they gonna be able to say, okay, you know what? That's all right. We talked about it. We discussed it. We're cool, let's move forward from that. But that person always say, you did this and you did that, and it's like they can't never feel empathy for you, but every time they mess up, they want you to accept their apology. You need to cut them off. Cut them off. Stop trying to be so understanding. Stop trying to show them empathy. They don't deserve your empathy. They ain't giving it to you. Every time you mess up, every time it's something very small, they always, making it seem like it's, everything is gonna go, come crashing down now, or causing so many problems, and for you, and making things so small, so big. So why should you give them the benefit of the doubt? You got to start putting people on their necks. Stop being so nice to people. Stop trying to be so understanding. No, ain't no understanding over here. Understand? I'm gonna say, ain't none of that. We ain't being understanding. No, you can't come to my house. No, you can't. I'm not kicking it with you. No, I don't want you to have my, no, I'm not finna be going to, going to your house, or you're not finna be coming around me doing this and doing that. No, it's none of that. Because at the end of the day, most people, they're not, they're not real. There's a lot of people out here, they're bots. They need to be cut off. And majority of the time, you're gonna continue to keep on feeling how you're feeling, or within this particular situation, because most people are not going to change. They just want you to hear them out. They don't want to hear you out. So you have to remove yourself and stand on that. They can huff and puff all they want to, but at least you could be somewhere else, and you got peace in your heart. You ain't worried about fighting and arguing all the time. And every time you make a little mistake, they always harper on it. They always yelling at you and lashing out on you. But then when they make a mistake, and if you lash out on them, and then say things to them, it's they not gonna be able to take it. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, most people like that have to just be like removed from your life, because regardless of whatever you say, regardless of whatever you do, they just not gonna get you. They don't. They're not real like you. They're not cut from the same cloth that you have. So it's like it's not going. It's like they hear you, but they can't really comprehend. You understand what I'm trying to say? And you shouldn't have to be going back and forth with somebody that's supposed to be a loved one, a friend, a family member, somebody in your life, where every time you got to speak out, it's like you want to speak out. It's like, okay, you say your part and I say my part, right? But it's like every time they say their part, they want you to hear them out, listen to them, X, Y, and Z. But every time you say something, they looking over here. I feel like they looking this way or something like that, or they don't want to hear you out, or they making it seem like they can't comprehend, and they don't want to hear you out because it's like a I can't think of the word what I want to say, but they just don't care about how you feel. It's just like, hey, look, I let you speak, now let me speak now, okay? You understand what I'm trying to say? Because I feel like certain people, they want to, it's like, just shut up and just sit down, okay? We don't care about what you're talking about, all right? We let you speak, now it's time for somebody else to speak. You can't keep doing that. I don't understand exactly why people act the way they do, and then they want us to hear them out and understand them and have so much empathy for them or whatever. But then when it comes to us, they looking the other way. They looking down. They ain't hearing what we saying. They making it seem like they not even really listening. It's like they just saying, oh yeah, listen to me and feel for me. But when it's your turn, I'm not gonna care. Like, that's not gonna work out. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's how people are these days. You ain't gonna have too many people around you that's gonna really empathize with you, because they just don't care. And some people, I feel like, you can't care all the time because you can't save everybody. You have to do your part. I'm not saying to not do your part. Do your part. But if somebody is just keep on, going down the wrong path and you realize that you just can't save them, that's cool. All right, at least I tried, right? I tried, did my part, and then keep going. But I feel like aside from that, I'm not gonna constantly keep on, being around somebody that's trying to pull me down and they don't have no care in the word for me. But they want me to always get up and jump whenever they tell me to jump and have empathy for them, help them out. But when it comes down to me, for me, they ain't doing nothing for me. And if I tell them about themselves, and let them know what they're doing wrong, they don't want to hear it. So I'm not going to constantly keep on chasing. Well, I'm not chasing nobody, but I'm saying I'm not going to chase somebody that does not want to do the work, that's not want to, work on themselves and realize that, hey, sometimes, you are the problem. Sometimes you do need to work on yourself, but instead they want to blame it on the other person and make it seem like it's always the opposite when reality, they really just toxic. And so until that person truly change, and God can say, that person truly really changed, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. That's a little different. But sometimes God is like, Jehovah God is saying, remove that person, cut that person off, and keep on moving forward because being around them is not going to let move you to grow. I'm not trying to be around somebody that don't care nothing about me. They ain't doing nothing for me. So I'll remove myself from that situation. I'm not going to be around somebody that don't care about me. You know how dumb that sounds? Because it's like, that's just wasting your time. Be around people that do love and care about you. You see what I'm saying? But those who don't, they don't. And I feel like I'm not about to be going back and forth and being their friend and being there for them, but they're not doing nothing for me. If somebody not doing nothing for you, stop going hard for them. What is they doing for you? And if you can't think of nothing, then that's your cue, that's your answer to move around and stop caring about how they gonna feel. Because like I said, when it come down to it, if you do something to them, right? Or if it's a misunderstanding, more than likely they're not gonna care. They're not gonna empathize with you. They're not gonna sympathize with you because they only thinking about themselves.